Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear grade 12 students, how are you all? Today we're going to do A Tale of Two Cities, chapters 10, 11, and 12. The summary of chapter 10, or the title first, Two Promises. What promises are we talking about? We'll see. A year after the assassination of the Marquis, remember that in chapter 9, the Marquis Saint Everyman was killed, was murdered by a peasant. Who this peasant is? He is the father of the boy who was killed back in Paris. Okay, Darnay has made a life for himself in England. Darnay went back to England as a tutor of French language and literature. He has been in love with Lucy since the trial, as we said earlier, and he finally decides to speak to Dr. Manette about his feelings. He wanted to suit, okay, or to propose for her. Darnay tells the doctor that he loves Lucy and wishes to marry her. Because he is unsure of Lucy's feelings for him, Darnay asks the doctor not to say anything to her unless she discloses similar feelings for Darnay. And if she tells you, Dr. Manette, that she is interested in me as I am interested in her, so tell her that I want to propose to her. In that case, Darnay asks the doctor to tell her that Darnay has expressed his love for her and to not say anything against him. The doctor agrees, but when Darnay tries to reveal his real name and background, Dr. Manette stops him and makes him promise not to divulge the information or break the secret until the morning of Darnay and Lucy's wedding. And he will regret this later. Again, Dr. Manette stops him when the young man wanted to tell him about his real name, his family name, Everyman, and his background, who his father and his uncle are. Dr. Manette stops him and makes him promise not to divulge the information until the morning of Darnay and Lucy's wedding. That evening, Lucy finds the doctor hammering at his shoemaker's bench. When she calls to him, he stops and makes no mention of his relapse or of Darnay's visit. The analysis of this chapter is the doctor's response to Darnay's declaration of love for his daughter indicates that the Evremond family may yet have the power to disrupt his life. They did before, and they are going to do it again unintentionally. Additionally, Dickens has dropped hints that Darnay or his family has something to do with the doctor's secret. The doctor has looked at Darnay with dislike, distrust, and fear on occasion, even though Darnay has done nothing to cause offense. Similarly, the secret smile that the Marquis wore when questioning Darnay about Dr. Manette strongly suggests that he knows something about the doctor's history. Remember that the Marquis and his brother are the ones who put Mr. or Dr. Manette in prison. Let's move on to chapter 11. A companion picture, the summary. The same night that Darnay makes his declaration to Dr. Alexander Manette, Stryver tells Carton that he has decided to marry Lucy. Remember, three people are interested in Lucy. Charles Darnay, Mr. Stryver, and Sidney Carton. Stryver feels he is doing Lucy a favor by making her his wife. She is not rich, but she is a charming creature who will make a nice home for him. After describing how eligible and attractive he is to women, Stryver chastises Carton for making himself so unattractive to women. He blames him. He recommends that Carton find himself a wife to take care of him, all the while missing the sarcasm into Carton's replies. Analysis. At the title of that chapter, A companion picture suggests the scene between Stryver and Carton mirrors the scene between Darnay and Dr. Manette. Whereas Darnay was respectful, humble, and sincere in his discussion with the doctor, Stryver is pompous, vain, self-absorbed, and obnoxious. Stryver's views of marriage represent the traditional Victorian view of marriage as something done for practical reasons. I just want to get married because I have to do. Okay, Darnay's desire to wed or marry Lucy stems from a more idealized romantic viewpoint. He loves Lucy and only wants her to marry him if she loves him as well. Chapter 12, the Fellow of Delicacy. The Fellow of Delicacy. Okay, the summary of the chapter is having decided to wed Lucy, Stryver heads to Soho, the place where, or the street maybe, where Dr. Manette and Lucy stay, to let her know of her good fortune. Okay, on the way, he drops by Tellson's Bank to share his marriage plans with Mr. Lorry. You know that Mr. Lorry is the counselor of the family. Rather than risk making Dr. Alexander Manette or Lucy uncomfortable by receiving a proposal directly from Stryver, Mr. Lorry suggests that Stryver let him visit the Manettes and find out if Lucy would accept Stryver's suit. Stryver agrees, and when Mr. Lorry returns from Soho, he tells Stryver that he should drop his suit because, however, Stryver has already changed his mind and acts as if the incident was all a misunderstanding caused by Lucy. Okay, so he gave up his plans. Analysis: Stryver's sense of self-importance is so great that it physically manifests itself as he shoulders his way through the London streets and seems to fill Tellson's already cramped space. His outraged disbelief that Lucy would be anything but thrilled by a proposal from him reinforces the worthiness of Darnay's humble courtship. Similarly, Stryver's obtuseness highlights Mr. Lorry's strengths, his diplomacy, his deep attachment to the Manettes, and his ability to take control of a stressful situation. These strengths will prove invaluable to the Manettes as the novel progresses. The glossary of this chapter: Vauxhall Gardens, London's first amusement park. The gardens, located on the south bank of the Thames River, opened in 1660 and closed in 1855. Visitors enjoyed not only the natural setting, but also food, drink, musical performances, fireworks, and balloon launches. Rani Lag, a competitor of Vauxhall Gardens, opened from 1742 to 1803 and famous for its masquerades. So these are two places for amusement, and this is the end of chapter 12. So in this short video, we studied the summary and analysis of chapters 10, 11, and 12. Thank you very much.